This is Katherine Wheeler for FPTV. On November 3rd, Pakistani President Pervez Musharraf declared a state of emergency, dismissed the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and flooded the streets of Islamabad with riot police. Now, growing extremism and a worsening political standoff between Musharraf and former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto threaten to destabilize what may be the world's most dangerous nuclear state. FPTV recently sat down with Mahmud Ali Durrani, Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, to get his perspective on his country's crisis. Is Pakistan still a democracy?
Pakistan right now, for the moment, the constitution is suspended, but we are operating as close to a democracy as possible. So technically, it is under a kind of emergency, but I think if you look at overall, I think it's still a democracy.
Why did President Musharraf declare a state of emergency?
I think there were two reasons, essentially, as I see them. One was the overactive judiciary. The judiciary was almost taking over the functions of the government, and that was creating problems for the government in terms of its war on terror. The second thing was the law and order situation and the ingress by the extremists into main Pakistan and the suicide bombings. So it's a combination of both.
What is Musharraf hoping to achieve during the state of emergency?
I think there are two or three things I think he's trying to achieve by having this emergency. One is that he's trying to control large bodies of people gathering together because they are subject to terrorist attacks. Then there's greater focus of the government. Some of the basic rights are suspended, so there's greater focus of the government to take on the terrorists more, like broadside. Like you have the, what do they call it, the Patriotic Act, and there were some measures. So by an emergency, he gets some of those powers, and he can fight that better.
Is it true that the U.S. government would like to see a power-sharing deal between Musharraf and former Pakistani Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto?
No. I think there's a bit of a confusion, not much. What the U.S. wants, to the best of my understanding, is power sharing between the moderate forces in Pakistan, period. But what I would say is, you should not even say this. You should say, we want a fair and free election. Whoever comes, we accept them gracefully. If you're talking of democracy, then you shouldn't say X should come, Y should come, power sharing, and then hold fair and free elections. They are contradictions.
During the state of emergency, are Pakistan's nuclear weapons at a greater risk of falling into the hands of extremists?
I think during a state of emergency, controls automatically become tighter. And so that helps the security of nuclear weapons, doesn't reduce the security at all. Everybody in Pakistan, opposition, government, they are proud of their nuclear program. Everybody, even the religious parties, they are proud of their nuclear program. They would like to protect it and not hand it over to any irresponsible hands. So it doesn't affect the political climate in Pakistan. This is a misperception here, but I think the nuclear weapons are very safe.
If Pakistan's nuclear weapons are so safe, why did Bhutto tell Fox News that they might fall into the hands of extremists?
I don't believe it. She's playing to the gallery, the Western gallery. I mean, she likes that and she does a good job, and she's playing to the Western gallery, putting the fear in them that, oh my God, if I don't come, everything is going to blow up. That is not going to happen. Pakistan has survived, will continue to survive, and she's a good politician. I have nothing against her, but there are other good politicians too.
Critics of the U.S. aid program to Pakistan say there is little accountability for the more than $10 billion given to Pakistan since 9/11. Don't U.S. taxpayers have a right to know where their money is going?
This is one of the worst misperceptions going on in Washington, D.C. today. We are paid, for example, as I said, Operation Enduring Freedom, we have performed a service. Now what we do with that money is our business. We have given you a service. You're paying us back. That's all. Why do you want accounting of that? For example, if we take that money and go and buy bananas, how does it bother you? You know, this is not fair. You have given us money for the service we have performed. It is essentially a payment for services already performed. So why should you know where I do, what I do with that money? So people saying that it goes into some secret fund is crazy.
Should the United States take a more or less active role in the political future of Pakistan?
One message I would say is, let the 160 million people of Pakistan decide on their destiny. You're friends. You say you're friends of Pakistan. Trust Pakistanis.